Now, managing finance as a couple requires careful planning and strategic allocations into various types of investments and accounts, right? Which is something that is very important. And on today's video, guys, I want to talk to you about the must-have accounts for couples. If you are married or if you are staying with your partner, I think these 4 accounts that I want to give you on this video are quite important for you to take your finances to the next level. So watch this video until the end, because at the end of this video you will not only have these 4 types of accounts that you should have as a couple that will take you to financial freedom, but I'll also give you a bonus account, which this one is also a next level account that not many people talk a lot about in South Africa, right? Now, before we dig deep into this video, of course, please like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because on this channel many of you know that we talk about investing, we talk about the SA affairs, politics, and global tensions that might have an impact into our economy. Those of you that have been on this channel for some time, you will know that that is what we are mostly covering on this channel. Now, without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight to these accounts that I want to give you. The first account that you must have as a couple, it's obviously an emergency fund account. This one, it's a kind of an account that, of course, you are putting your money as a couple for emergencies. There are things that happen or that can happen time and again, and if you don't have this account, you'll find yourselves having to go borrow money or having to touch the money that you're not supposed to touch as a couple. So it's important that the first account that you have, it's an emergency account. Usually this one, it should be a 1-day notice. There are quite a number of banks that in all of Mzansi, they give you pretty decent interest even on this 1-day notice account. Me and my wife, we've got a 1-day notice called Just Invest, which of course you can just make a notice a day before, then the following day the money is in your account. So that account is primarily for, of course, if there are emergencies, or it works better for any emergency that comes as you are doing life with your partner, right? I mean, there are so many things that just come unexpected, and if you don't have this account, fortunately, you're going to either find yourself borrowing money or going to withdraw money in accounts that you're not supposed to be touching at the very first place. I mean, this is the type of account that you save for rainy days, right? And the second account, it's a fixed deposit account. Now, this one, when you open this one as a couple, you need to have a long-term plan. It might be something that, like, you wanting to build or to buy your house or renovate your house, you must put your money, or you can put your money into this type of an account. You lock it for 2 years, 3 years, whatever the period you want to build a new house, you want to buy a new house, you need this is the type of an account that you need to have, and fixed whatever you are putting onto that account, maybe for 3-5 years, so that obviously you don't have access to that account until you reach the target, which will then make you maybe build that house, that dream house that you've been wanting. You must also have this one, or this type of an account. Account number 3, tax-free savings account. This one, it's also very important, guys. This one, it's more of an investment account that allows you to deposit up to 36,000 rands per year, per person, right? So as a couple, if you all have this tax-free savings account, you can deposit like 72,000, and whatever interest that you accumulate, as long as you are not exceeding this 36,000 rand annually, those interests, of course, they become yours, right? It's called a tax-free savings account, which the maximum limit in terms of contribution is 36,000 per person. And if you are a couple, it means that every year you should be able to save 72,000. And these, if you do it consistently for 20 years as a couple, you could be seeing or finding yourselves after 20 years sitting with 1.4 million rands, which is something that is very, very good. Because look, this assumes, by the way, this 1.4 million assumes that you are getting around 10% on your you are getting around 10% annually for your gains, or on that account, which compounding over 20 years, it gives you that 1.4 million, which of course it can definitely change your life. 1.4 million does change your life. And this kind of account, the reason why it's very important is that you don't get to be taxed, because as long as you are following the 36,000 annually, and obviously you are doing it consistently, whatever you accumulate, you get to use that money, of course, tax-free, which is why it's called a tax-free savings account, which is absolutely great. From this account, you can buy your ETFs, both local ETFs, JSE Top 40, all share index, and you can also buy US ETFs like the S&P 500 and all those kind of ETFs. It allows you to do that, which simply means that the growth, the 10% might be a base, because if you check like the top 40, there is a video that I did about the growth that we saw on the top 40 in the last year, or in the last 52 weeks, which was around 23%. It therefore means that had you put maybe 36,000, it means that 36,000 in the last 52 weeks, that money would have grown by 24%, which is a good growth, right? I mean, there is no bank out there that can give you this kind of returns, which makes a tax-free savings account very, very important for couples. And remember, as couples, you're not only just doing it alone. You have two accounts. Your wife or your husband will also have your account, and you will also have your own account. But this should be there in a family, because it helps you, of course, waive off the tax that we all complain about. I mean, tax, it's killing us in our 9 to 5, in our savings. The savings that you put, at the end of the day, if you save maybe 1.4 million after 20 years, maybe on your fixed deposit account, just an example, the capital gains that you got from that fixed savings account, you will have to pay probably almost half of that to SARS, or 45% of that to SARS, which is something that is not good. But a tax-free savings account, on the other hand, you don't pay, as long as you are contributing 36,000 annually. And the lifetime of this tax-free savings account, you can only contribute up to 500,000. So if you divide 500,000 by 36,000, that is like 14 years. For the next 14 years, if you are investing consistently, you will be able to get, or you might find that at the end of the maybe 14 years, you're already seeing some massive gains onto that tax-free savings account. So this one, it's also a must-have. But I think in terms of some of the assets that you can buy on the tax-free savings account, we'll just do a separate video for that. But this is the third account that you should have as a couple, right? Now, the fourth account that you should have, it's what I called a high-risk investment account. I mean, let's face it, we all want to get to financial freedom, right? In as much as we are talking about 20 years, there are some people that are investing onto certain products, and in 5 years, their life has changed completely. And for that kind of transformation to happen to your life, or if you need to have an account that you are able to allocate or invest into a bit riskier, of course, assets. And by riskier assets, I'm talking about individual companies, individual shares. You will know that shares, of course, these are publicly listed companies that are trading in the JSE, trading in the New York Stock Exchange, and the other exchanges all over the world. So you must get to that point where you have an account with your partner that you can buy these individual stocks. Because I can tell you something, there are stocks like Amazon, there are stocks like Nvidia. It's even worse, because in the last decade alone, someone who had put like $1,000, or someone who had put 10,000 rand onto Nvidia 10 years ago, you're talking about 2015. This year, that money would have grown by over 21,000%. I've discussed about Nvidia, guys, meaning that had you put your 10,000 rands would be worth like 2.1 million rands right now. So I'm doing this video because your money has grown by 210 times than the initial investment you put, and you cannot see this kind of gains unless you have this kind of an account that helps you buy individual stocks. Locally, you can talk about Capitec. Go have a look at the history of Capitec. Capitec has given those that invested in its early days some massive returns, some massive gains, and therefore all that it means, what that means is that for you to be able to benefit in some of these companies that could do very well, you need to have, of course, these kind of an accounts where you are buying. I mean, there are so many brokers in South Africa right now that gives you the access to all global markets, or to most of the global markets. You are able to buy global shares, and some of those companies are expected to do very well, and there are still going to be many companies that grow by that kind of there are so many companies that are still going to grow by probably 10,000% in the next decade. The only tricky part is that you need to find them. But the good thing is that because of YouTube, so many people are talking about quite a number of companies that have got a potential to grow your money so much, in a way that, of course, you might find yourself telling your boss, or maybe quitting your job earlier than you thought. But anyways, you need to also have this kind of high risk investment account, because let's face it, anyways, without risk you will never go to the next level. Now, these are the 4 accounts that I think as a couple you must have, and like I said, I promise that I'll give you the 5th account, which I also personally have, right? This is also a must have, or this is also an account that I think, even if it's not all of you, one of you should have this one. It's called a PayPal account, right? Now, PayPal account, the reason why you should have this account, you will know that PayPal is a US based company, right? And when you deposit your South African rand onto PayPal, of course it gets to be converted into dollars, right? And now here's what happens when the dollar strengthens against the South African rands, right? It means that the value of whatever South African rands you transferred to your PayPal account, it's growing relative to what we are seeing onto the exchange between USD to ZAR, or our South African currency versus the USD, which is always a good way to see, of course, your money growing. I mean, there you are not even doing anything. Instead, you are just stashing money on your PayPal account. Stashing money, taking your rents, transferring them to PayPal to become dollars. It means that as the dollar strengthens, because over time, if you look, man, the dollar has been gaining power over the rands. At one point, I remember when I was doing my second year university, this was when 2010, the USD to ZAR, I think it was around 7 rand. One US dollar was equivalent to 7 rand. But have a look at where that is right now, meaning that had you stashed, or if you had stashed maybe on your PayPal account that year, you will probably be sitting at a massive chunk of money. But I know we are just saying this is sometimes you will want to withdraw and also venture into or do other businesses or go to other investments. But I think this is also that account that, for the sake of benefiting when maybe the US dollar is gaining strength of over and above over our currency, you can benefit from that. So PayPal is the bonus account that you must have. And yeah, this, my dear friends, it's very important. All these 5 accounts are very important, right? Because you don't want to be finding yourself in an emergency and you're withdrawing money on your investment account. Remember, the word investing talks about long term, meaning that you are not supposed to be putting or investing into something and want huge gains in a year or 2 years, or you want to withdraw your money after a year or 2 years. Long term is anything from 5 years going up, right? So 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, that's long term investing. So when you are investing, buying shares or doing whatever you are doing, as long as it's called investing, then you know you must have the end goal or end product of saying that you are putting that money for at least 5 years. Or as savings, on the other hand, that is the one that you can save for, like what I told you, for emergencies. You can save for maybe a project that you want to do as a couple. You can have that. But investing, that's a total different ball game, right? But anyways, these are the accounts. Tell me what you think about this, man. I think South Africa can be better if most couples can have this type of account, because look, it prevents us to find ourselves going to have lots and lots of debts, because look, finances do have a huge impact or can create massive conflict amongst couple. And if we get it right, I think the soonest I think it's better because it mitigates a lot of fights, a lot of problems that might come at a later stage, right? I mean, me, I'm currently implementing this, or I'm currently doing this with my wife, right? And look, in as much as we are doing this, we are not yet there, right? We are still trying to have these kind of things. Personally, I only opened PayPal, I think, last year, right? So some of these things you are doing them, and when you see them working for you, of course, because of this channel, I thought maybe I also come and share it with you, because unlike the previous me that would, when there's an emergency, I go and withdraw for my investments, I know that obviously it's important to have a savings account or an emergency fund for emergencies that might arise, because with that you know that your investment will generate the most from your investments, which is something that, like I said, couples should always have that, right? So like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, tell me what you think about this. I'll see you on the next one, my dear friends. That is all from me, and God bless you all.